Students have been on the decline when it comes to motivation and performance within our public education system. And it's affecting not only our country as a whole, but also our competitiveness with other countries as well. Currently in the US, we are ranked 36 in our literacy rates. 244 million children are out of school, and 21% of adults in America were illiterate in 2024. The purpose of completing a fulfilling life is taking advantage of every opportunity you have. To live is to learn, and to learn is to grow. So why aren't we? Dear future president, we need to work together to ensure that our education system does not deteriorate and fragment to ensure the quality of our future in America. We are having multiple problems within our education system, one of them including the decline of performance within our students. The decline of education and learning is caused by the downward slope of students with their mental health and social and emotional learning. COVID-19 was a catalyst for learning and took
a huge hit in terms of academic learning during COVID, in addition to mental and social health. And all of
this hit is leading to underperformance and lack of attendance for children who emotionally cannot attend school. In 2022, only 26% of 8th graders were at or above proficient in math, much worse than before the pandemic with 33% in 2019.
For instance, my daughter was in 3rd grade when COVID hit, and that's when we learned multiplication and division. That was a huge skill that she really struggled with learning online versus in class.
Schools have been trying to play catch up after this event, and many families are wondering what is best for their student to ensure that they are ready for adulthood. We have to wonder what is the best solution for the decline of performance and what can ensure future readiness within the American students.
There is an argument that can be made in favor of private education over public education. Private schools do tend to have safer learning environments. Between 1999 and 2024, only 24 out of 416 school shootings took place in a private school. Private schools also tend to have greater discipline, more parent involvement, and an overall greater quality of education. However, all of these great characteristics only affect the higher income families that can afford to put their children in private schools.
Bethesda Public Schools, you've got a bunch of people with a whole bunch of money. You had drug dealers walking the halls and little girls getting sexually assaulted in the bathrooms. Bethesda Public Schools would be empty. But in the inner city with a single mom who's trapped, that's exactly the kind of schools they're facing.
For lower and middle class students that rely on public education, the focus on private schools can be detrimental to the quality of education for about 2/3 of the population.
Why public education is important? And again, I've experimented with charters, done that, experimented with private schools, done that. But you know why public is important? Because in public schools, it is illegal to turn away a student because of a behavioral issue, to turn away a student because of a physical difference that they may have. That's why I believe education is a great equalizer.
Every student has the right to an education, and public education is the best and most fair way to ensure that every American citizen receives the education they are entitled to by law. In order to keep the quality of education in America equal, funding is absolutely necessary for public education.
The reality is to provide top-notch education and to provide top-notch anything, it's got to be funded appropriately.
When it comes to our education system and how it's funded, about 10% of the funding for our schools comes from the federal government, and the other 90% comes from some combination of local and state governments. Places that are wealthier, that have more property value, it's going to be much easier to raise a lot of money to pay for schools.
Most students in America will benefit from public education. Equal learning opportunities for special needs children, children in poverty, and disabled bodies are a lot more common in public schooling rather than private institutions, and there's a lot more resources available to them. If we close down public schools, it'll leave a huge vacancy for school teacher job opportunities and equal opportunities for students. We would be pulling away from the things that matter most: stability and equal opportunity for students all across America. Considering the intense political climate of modern-day America, we see it as absolutely vital to be able to set opinions aside and focus on what is best for the children of America.
What can we do? Work together. What can we do? Get beyond some of the ideological mishmash, block out the noise, focus on our kids' present and our kids' future and our kids' potential to be great Americans.
The solution is found in the connections made and watering the soil for the students to be able to flourish and grow into adults that will have a positive impact on the country. To the government and to the president, let's keep education public, ensuring that all American people are heard, educated, taught, and supported through their education and careers. Sincerely, the children of America.